In the world, people are valued as either a person of noble birth or a person of low birth. Normally, the standard is made in economic competence or social position. However, the standard of God is different. When the Apostle Paul was ruthlessly attacked by false apostles in Corinth, the reaction he showed is the reason why God cherished him. The usual way for the accused person to behave is to strike back the opponent or assault one's point. However, Paul instead openly revealed his inadequacies, and he was honored to be given the Lord's ministry to someone like him. Paul called himself clay vessel. Clay vessel is made from clay, and it is considered lowly by everyone. But the story changes when there's a valuable stuff in it. The people God used preciously were alike Abraham, Moses, and David. All were people who had many weaknesses, but they were used usefully by God. The Apostle Paul was one of those people. Paul called himself as having the treasure in a clay vessel. What was it that he considered a treasure? This refers to the soul saved through the gospel. More to the point, the spiritual duty given by God. That is the fact that we can have fellowship with God, and thereby we can participate in God's ministry. When we compare to God's glory, the value of the vessel that God fills his glory is absurdly low to be easily understood. Paul humbly admitted his value was the same as above. It was the point that caught God's attention. Such truth and humility are the vessel's character that God considers useful to show his glory. A philosopher of Athens, a politician of Rome, a spiritual leader of Israel, and etc. God just passed by such people and rather choose the fishers of Galilee like Peter, John, and James. Tax collector Matthew was treated as a national traitor who suffered contempt, and Philip, Mark, and Nathaniel, who were insignificant in appearance. That is, God revealed his power through such insufficient people. Paul himself acknowledged his weakness is not an element that ruined his ministry, but rather it was his assert that didn't limit God's power. His character, not loving himself too much, such as generosity, understanding, receptive, and patience, those attributes that can be contained in the word love, are the characteristics of vessels that are useful to God. God is not a disorderly God. He is the one who works everything in an orderly manner, according to the plan. One Spirit gives the same revelation to the whole church, and he gave the duty to each one as Christ apportioned it. So he uses church, and through church he makes you work, and eventually lets you participate in the glory of heaven. The reason we like clay vessels are valuable is that God put something valuable to us. We not only have the life that God gave us, but we also have the duty of glory to participate in Christ's work. Let's be a good vessel. Rather than seeking our own success on this earth, let's seek God's ministry to succeed. Even if we have considered lowly in the world, let's be a useful vessel before God.